and welcome to, and now for something completely Machinima podcast. I'm Tracy Harwood and I'm your co-host for this episode, here with Chantal Harvey. And today we're going to be touring Second Life. Now I have to say it's been some years since my avatar, Tracy Harwood, and I rezzed into Second Life to have a look round, and you can probably tell from my outfit and my name that I've managed to mess it up somewhat, and actually I am now here as one of Chantal's avatars. Anyway, one of the first things I had to do to get back into Second Life, having been out of it for so long, was actually to download the new Firestorm viewer for my Mac, which apparently makes it easier to set up. Yeah, right, okay. Anyway, Chantal, on the other hand, is an expert filmmaker in Second Life, having been involved with it since its launch way back when. So Chantal is a machinima creator extraordinaire and is otherwise known as Machinima. Now, Chantal and I first met back in 2008 when we were on the stage together at an international television convention in Amsterdam, talking about the roles and potentials of machinima to an audience of mainly broadcast types. I think it was quite a hard sell, as I recall. Chantal, do you remember that?
And it was the first ever female machinima presentation.
Absolutely,
Gaming
yes.
and Beyond, it was called, I think.
Yeah. Say that again.
Gaming and Beyond.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember. But it was the TV folks in the audience that used to, the way they sort of sat there and didn't even smile. I remember that very well.
Oh yeah, when the light went on, so and so from Sony, so and so from it was big names.
BBC and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely, yeah. Fun. Anyway, we've since had the opportunity to work together on a number of projects over the years, and I have to say we were also on the stage together at the last Machinima event that Hugh Hancock did back in 2016 in Leicester, when I recall Hugh commenting that it was the first time both the father and the mother of Machinima had presented together in person.
Yeah,
which I'm sure you remember that, Chantal.
Yeah, I cherish it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chantal, just tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done and are now doing in Second Life.
I actually, due to COVID, it brought a lot of bad things, but for me, it made me come back in world, in Second Life, and I tried to set up a studio again, making some machinima shorts, some films. I went into live streaming. I'm streaming a lot now. People are already TPing me over, can you stream my event, can you stream this, that, and the other, and I find art is blooming in Second Life. I end up in places where, it's good that I'm at home in my own room because my jaw drops open. I think, whoa, this is amazing. So the live streaming is really, really a new hobby. And I started the old group, the oldest machinima group in the world here, Machinima Mondays.
We're here now with Machinima Mondays, which was created and is managed by Chantal Harvey. Now, Machinima Mondays, as the name suggests, has weekly meetings on Mondays. It's at 1 p.m. in Second Life. That's 9 p.m. my time. It's the oldest and the finest machinima group inside Second Life. The group talks about how to create machinima in Second Life particularly, and the guys that turn up here share their work, talk to each other about their work, and sometimes they're working on little assignments and sometimes competitions as well. It also has a complimentary Facebook group with currently something like, I think, 278 members, Chantal, is that right?
Really? Oh.
Yeah, that's what I saw today when I looked. And they're very open to anybody dropping in, so musicians, writers, filmmakers, builders, animators, teachers, and it's a really, really friendly crowd that likes to chat, I'm hoping. And what we'll do on the podcast, or in the show notes that is, we'll share the Machinima Monday Second Life URL in the notes so that anybody can drop in and also join the Facebook group if they would like to as well. So hey everyone, thanks for letting me join you all this evening, and of course to Chantal for hosting this regular event. Chantal was saying you have such a wide range of different interests in being here, and plus I know you're from very different parts of the world too. Would you like to introduce yourselves to our listeners here? Do you want to say who you are in Second Life and or real life? Your choice, and a bit about why you're here, and what you get out of being here. Who wants to start?
Sure, I'll start. I'm Fake Jewell. I'm from the UK. Recently moved to East Anglia. I am the writer and director for the Jewell Theatre, which is here based in Simandiriel. So our theatre is down at ground level, which I run with Dorian Cao, who's also here and is our technical genius.
So this is your permanent home in Second Life then, really?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. So who else? Amma, would you like to have a go? Amadon? Have I got that right?
You mean Amar?
I beg your pardon.
That'd do it, yeah. Basically, I've been in Second Life for about quite a few years now. And it's got to the sort of stage where I was getting bored and everything. And I actually met with the Jewell Theatre. They actually sparked my interest up and everything. And one of my interests always has been machinima. And I've never had any real way of getting into actually, investigate more about it until literally this Machinima Mondays started up again. And that's actually allowed me to then start learning things again. So I'm pretty glad about that now. I'm just very new.
Just very new to making.
Hi, I'm Shelwyn Corrigan. I teach at the University of San Francisco, and I've been in Second Life since about 2009. This is my newer avatar. And I have a school here, Town, English language, and I'm interested in machinima. I kind of like to do vignettes of little sort of scenes, tableaus. And I'm here for inspiration.
Yes, I'm here in Second Life since 2007. And at that time, I didn't think of making any films in machinima in Second Life because the quality of the graphics was not very good. So, but I will tell you first where I came from. I'm from Germany, and I was in Berlin at the German Television Academy, and was ended up as director, but had to work after that also with sound. I made the sound in several feature films, and so I'm a little bit experienced with filmmaking, but professional filmmaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in Second Life, I was very excited because what I saw, whole landscapes and people, but until 2010, when you remember our avatars were far better now, and like today, they are really beautiful. And there are towns and landscapes and seas and villages and everything. You can, as a filmmaker, you have everything you can want. And that's why I began with filmmaking in Second Life. Because I'm retired, I only make films now in Second Life. Sometimes with my smartphone, also small shots in real life, but 99% I make films in Second Life. And in Sensor.
And Sensor as well, that's brilliant.
Circles, yes. It's like that. It's a real premiere, because when I was first here, or was it the second time, I don't know, Safia Widershins was talking about how to, it was not very important, but she said you can avatars and everything on and off with shortcuts, And I said, wow, because your avatar is not to be seen anymore, if you like, you know. But later I remembered that I knew that you can remove everything, that you see nothing at all. But then because I had I make live movies. It's a part of Machinima. It means that I script the camera. So the movements of cameras is by a script. And I made a script. It was thought for the dancing events, so that the HUD can show you yourself, and from above and from the side, and the DJ and the tip jar and everything within that HUD. And so you have a whole overview of your surrounding. And it's like a film, you know, because you see it on your screen. When you click DJ, you see the DJ. So one of these items were surrounding the avatar. You see yourself dancing on the dance card. So then I had the idea, I can remove myself, so I can go everywhere, remove myself, and have circles everywhere. I can go to every place what I wanted to film as a circle, and when I remove myself, I'm not to be seen. I see just what the circle shows. And that's why I had the idea for circles. It's a premiere. First time I did that I removed my all avatars in that case, but you can remove your avatar also with being invisible. It's just a click and you are invisible. And you have to be naked too, by the way. So if you are invisible, it doesn't matter, does it? So your clothing will be seen still, and so you have to remove your clothing and be invisible. So then you are these two ways, with removing all avatars or just yours. And with that, I will give you that later. Not for the. I think it's a theme for in weeks, I think. And then I can give you that, and you can make these circles too, no problem. And that's all about circles, but to the movie itself, it's not perfect, you know. I was in a hurry, and when I came here, it was uploading to YouTube, it was not prepared, and I had so many shots that I tried to make the movie shorter, and then it was 3 minutes, but Chantal wanted 1 minute, but it was too late for me. So that's why it's 3 minutes long, and there are some bugs in it, yes. I let it in it because you can learn from it. Maybe we can talk about it later.
Yeah. When I was looking at it, I was thinking circles as a metaphor for things like circle of life. So you weren't just circling and twirling and spinning around the domes, but also through the story as well, which I thought was a very interesting and abstract kind of way of demonstrating things like circle of life and what have you. So I thought it was a really interesting concept, which I really enjoyed that as an abstract film. Of course, the soundscape and music was great as well, which always helps, I think. Okay, what about Amar?
Yeah.
Have I said that correctly now?
Amar.
You have, that's it.
Amar, I beg your pardon.
Amar, it's good enough.
Amar Dunn, Wonder. Wicked Peanut?
Oh yeah, that's on my YouTube.
That's your
No, it's Wicked Peanut, yeah.
So tell us about your sort of machinima creating experience. There's not too much of it, to be honest, at the moment. I've been going for literally about just over, probably about a month. And I've created about 3. First one was like a very basic. A lot of times I was coming to the actual meetings and sort of, wanting to know the basics of how to actually get started. And so I was getting a bit frustrated because, like I said, no one was telling me the basics, and then obviously everyone was a higher level than myself. So they're talking about stuff that I didn't have a clue what on about.
So Fakey basically just told me, just make something, get on with it. So I would basically record her first of all, and then actually put something together. I quite enjoyed that, and then I've done 2 more at the moment, and I've got lots of other ideas. But I think the problem I've got is actually not knowing the tools to use still. So I get these ideas, but I don't know how to create those ideas with the softwares I'm using.
I think that's always the challenge, isn't it, really?
That's it.
So what software are you using? Is it because I know Chantal's recording you using OBS.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what I'm using, when I first started with the very first one, I was using the Movavi Video Suite 17, which was literally a Steam download. I've done that, but then I actually quite enjoyed that, so I actually got the latest version of 21, and it seems to have quite a lot of tools in there to use. But the problem I got is how to manipulate things to make the stories, how to make the avatars spin in circles and things. I'm just still exploring the green screen at the moment. I'm trying to work out ideas with that at the moment. But it's still a big learning curve. 45 seconds roughly.
They're great. They're great little stories, actually.
I must have done it for a laugh.
Well, yeah, and they're off. They're off.
Yeah.
But what I really like about them is the mouse eye view. You know, kind of down on the ground at mouse height. I mean, they meet slightly grizzly end, of course.
Of course. bit like Itchy and Scratchy, really, isn't it? Next time they're both alive again. Yeah, so
Tom and Jerry in there, haven't
yeah. It's the famous British sense of humour, we'll say.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Indeed.
I'd done, for the homework, I did a poetry exercise, but wasn't 1 minute. So Chantal had said, go away and create a minute. And I thought, wow, I haven't got a poem that is a minute long. So I'm gonna, I don't know, what do I feel strongly about? And literally whilst walking my dog, somebody had left a bag of poo on the path. And I don't like people that don't pick up after their dogs, but people who bag it and then leave the bag, there should be a special place in hell for them. So I thought, right, I shall make cinema about that. And instead of having the whole problem of lip syncing the issues, I had Amar dress up as a dog for me, and he just literally mouthed to camera a whole bunch, and then I just tried to put the words into some sort of context.
I see.
And got it down to, I think, 1 minute, 1 second. So technically scraped through on a technicality, I think.
Well, you said a 1 second credit. It doesn't count.
But there was credit, so, you know.
There you go, you see, you could have shortened that.
Yeah, well done. Well done. It's difficult to stick to a time limit, but nobody did less than 60 seconds. That surprised me, because you could have done 10 seconds, which is even harder. But
Dorian's first film was less than 60 seconds, wasn't it, Dor? Didn't your Faline film, I think that was about 30 seconds? I'm not sure. Because it was just Mary Had a Little Lamb, and it was...
Yeah, it was quite short. Yeah. Just somebody strolling down the little leafy lane there. Yeah. That was
the charming
cool.
Faline, yes.
45, just walking and saying the poem. Yeah.
Absolutely, so, yeah exactly. I think a lot of us found it difficult because a lot of us went straight into editing, whereas Dorian just did one long shot. Which actually, I think, technically must have been a lot harder. You know, I think for a lot of us, we had a lot of material, and we were cutting it down to the required time, and that was tricky.
You know, when I dropped into the chat, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. One of the comments that I saw was about a choreographic system that I don't know who's using that or how you're using it. So, do you remember the?
Oh yeah, that was Sophia Withershin, who I'm so sorry to say can't be with us this week. It's a shame because she works with storyboards. Yeah, spot on. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very professional with a whole team. Yeah.
What do you gain by using that than just sort of free flow recording?
You can just choose how your avatars will move. Because when you all try to walk straight on, one will go a bit to the left or stop at the wrong point. And if you're filming with 2 or 3 actors, that's really, really difficult. And with Spot On, you can script it from A to Z, so the work goes into the scripting.
So when you come to a place like Second Life as a virtual or metaverse type environment, do you look at it as, when you come into it, do you look at it as a social environment primarily, or do you look at it as a film set primarily? Or is it just a combination of the two things for you?
Well, for me, it's definitely the social element. But I did come here looking to see if I could use this space for theatrical productions. And I was just lucky enough to find interested people.
Yeah, we do find each other, don't we? We've been long-time friends.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I came to Second Life to avoid. I came from the TV business. I worked for a TV station, and I thought, no more filming, no more editing. And within a week, I was filming and editing. So I use it as a studio, but I do like the social part of it. I think it'd be like that for most of us. Yeah.
And anyway, you've been around in Second Life for a while. It's primarily social for you then? Is that?
Primarily, it was actually social first of all. But like everything, after a while you start getting fed up with things. I went through a lot of stages. First of all, social. Then I went through I like building things and scripting things. Then after a while, I was getting to a stage where I'd done it all. I was thinking about leaving, but that was the time that I got into the theatre, and it's kept me going here. But now I've got Machinima in here as well now, so it's another thing to keep me going.
We've unleashed the devil. And Prida, who is sitting next to me, she did a science fiction series for years, long one. So I don't know if you've seen any of that, Tracy.
I don't think I have actually.
No.
Will do. What I wanted to ask then is, what have you learned through the process of being in this group? What's your big takeaway from it? Anyone?
I think I'm going to say experimentation. Sometimes, I've been coming to Machinima Monday for years. And when I first started coming, I'd seen Robbie Dingo doing some amazing things. And some of the really early machinimatographers, Toxic and Phelan, and just some of the really brilliant stuff. I was so jealous and I was desperate to emulate. And like Amar, when I arrived, everything was so technical, it was just way over my head. And I think it was Phelan had said to me, just go and film something. Doesn't matter whether it's good, bad, rubbish. And she said the first thing that I ever put up onto you, somebody had said, well, that's 2 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back, just crushed. But she said, that's how to do it. And I thought, yeah, but what? And then I thought, you know what, she's right. And I went away and I recorded, I was so bad. I was so bad. And I'm still not very good. But, she is right. You have to learn by doing. And that is a very frustrating thing about Machinima.
I like the format where we can share ideas with each other on film and technique. That actually was not the case when I started in Second Life. Everybody was working for themselves on a little island and then showing their work on YouTube or another platform. And that's why I started Machinima Mondays. It's really to to get the community together, to make a community, because we can all share and learn and get better with it. Yeah, the 48-hour film project, that was very good for Machinima here. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
You were a jury member, weren't you, Tracy? Yeah, you were.
Frequent jury member.
With Peter Greenaway that year, wasn't it?
That's correct, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good old days.
Well, he had a very interesting perspective, I thought.
Yeah.
Which I think, in many ways, you know, when he came out with some of the points that he made, was really trying to encourage people to be more experimental with their creative work. So, you know, rather than create work from narrative and, you know, sort of traditional storytelling, just sort of push the boat out a little bit. So he had this, you know, it was one of those things that I actually put this in the book as well, because I was quite impressed with this, but I've never really seen a massive amount of uptake on what he was pushing, which was along the lines of let the image drive the story, not the story drive the image.
Capture it. Yeah, but the point was, when he gave his talk, people were exhausted after 48-hour filmmaking, and they were really, you know, they had no more reserves. People did so many things in these hours. And he did a talk, and people in Second Life often aren't used to honest critiques. So a lot of people were upset by what he said, and he gave filmmakers the greatest gift. It's still on YouTube, that talk, the speech he gave, and it's very impressive. If you guys want to learn about Machinima, you know, the critique he gave, and he's a big filmmaker. He did some great movies. Some of my favorite movies are by Peter Greenaway, and he gave us a gift. Listen to it. It's about 40 minutes long, I think, but really still actual. Really good.
It's definitely worth listening to. I mean, he talks about the history of filmmaking as well, which I was, you know, so he puts it in, or he puts the Machinima methodology into the context of the big. Just to pick up on a point that Nicole's just made in the chat about rates,
union rates,
too high. Do you actually pay each other?
No. However,
Absolutely
in the theatre, we don't charge people to come and see our plays, and in the theatre sometimes we'll get tips, and if we get tips, we share the tips equally out to everybody in the cast and crew. Everybody gets the same.
Democratic. Democratic of you. That's really generous.
And then anything else just goes into the funds for the next production. But yeah, I mean, so every now and then, everybody in the cast will get like about 1,500 lindens, and
what's that in real money? In say pounds or dollars?
Fuel. Does anybody know that off the top of their heads? It's not much.
Is it not?
£3 or £4?
Oh wow! But it's a pair of shoes for your avatar, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. It's some quite good shoes for your avatar, yes. Maybe a pair of shoes and an outfit.
Again, you know, many years ago, one of the things that came up in Second Life was the currency and the exchange in the currency, and how governments were viewing it as a black market, and you know, how people were trading in and out and extracting money here and there and everywhere, kind of thing. So
but then you could also use PayPal without the tax office knowing, and that's been stopped. They pass all information now. So
yeah, but I mean, is Linden still considered in that way or not? Don't they care about it anymore? Or is it so minuscule, the amount that you're talking about, that nobody really cares?
No, there's a lot of people making money, of course. Linden dollars, you can exchange them for real-life money, and vice versa. I'm sure there's still people making lots of money, but I doubt if Machinima people do. I did make a lot of money with a fashion series once. That was in the beginning years. They paid me like 40,000 Linden dollars per episode, and they hired me for 10. So that I had 400,000 Linden dollars. I wish it was real dollars, but really, look.
Serious amount of Lindens, isn't it?
Yeah, Frida, she bought her laptop with fairy wings sale. She started making fairy wings, beautiful wings.
Well.